when it's obvious that your parent is not who you thought they were.
It's actually not on the child to bridge that gap.
Parents just have the opposite view, that they need to impose themselves.
It ends up feeling empty. It ends up feeling inauthentic.
And obviously that trip fully exposed me.
Just thinking about it gets me kind of emotional, but there's a kind of yearning for...
We're a very triggerable...
Well, obviously we both needed a lot of time and space afterwards.
So I have my son, Nathan, here, better known as Nathaniel Drew, who's joining me for this conversation. My question to you is, what makes a relationship work?
I guess what comes to mind when you ask this question is, obviously love is a very important component, the most important component. And that is just a piece of things. I guess if you're asking about like a healthy relationship, because there's plenty of relationships that exist that aren't healthy or that aren't, and I think you're trying to explore like a
healthy relationship that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so love is a really important element, a crucial element. There's respect, which I think can come and go. If I think about our relationship. So it doesn't mean we have a bad relationship, but it means that we're on kind of rockier terms because the respect element is kind of... And then I also think shared interests, that's sort of a more practical element to a relationship that works. There's something, just sort of more pragmatically speaking, if you don't have shared interests, you don't have things that bring you together organically. And I think that when you don't have that, it's quite difficult to bridge a gap. It feels very quickly like a lot of effort and energy, and relationships require effort and energy. But I think that if you don't have stuff that feels fun, that feels like you're naturally gravitating towards, there's that gap that you have to kind of navigate and close. And so I think, honestly, I mean, my view, maybe you'll agree with this, but it's more on the parents to try to follow the children's interests, to maintain that connection. You know, you don't have to be passionate about what I'm passionate about, but if you want to be able to speak the same language as me, you have to at least like try to learn a little bit about it, or like explore it a little.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a passion of yours, but it's a way to stay, in that zone of being able to relate, if that makes sense.
So you're kind of saying that the key to a healthy, specifically parent and adult-child relationship, right, is that it's not enough to say, I love you, I care about you, but for the parent to immerse themselves in the child's world and be genuinely interested in whatever that looks like, not with the expectation of the parent.
I mean, I think this is why you and many, many people, mom, feel distant and disconnected from their parents or their family. I don't know if you want to include that, maybe not. But a lot of children feel... What you help me understand is that it's actually not on the child to bridge that gap, because that actually ends up happening organically if there's that kind of open access way. Like I feel I've become significantly more interested in you guys as I get older, as I mature. First of all, because we never had a bad communication, so it always feels open. But also I just feel like I'm softening and life is kind of knocking me around a little bit. And so I look now at experiences that I had a different view on when I was 10 or 15 or 20, and I see them differently. And so because you guys have always put an effort in me, I feel this desire to bring conversations up and understand your way of operating and your way of viewing things in a different light.
Right.
But I think that, I feel like a lot of children well into adulthood feel like it's on them to try to make something happen.
Right.
But the parents aren't doing anything. They might even say the right words, but there's that effort and that interest isn't there.
Yeah.
I used to feel guilty about not being as interested in you guys as you are in me. My therapist helped me understand that this is the natural dynamic between parents and children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay. It's kind of the cycle of life a little bit, where I think the parents are always, and the day will come where I'm pouring myself into my children,
Right.
and they're gonna have phases, especially like maybe in the teenage years or early adulthood or whatever, where they're just gonna want to go off and do their own thing and have nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That also, I think, is a very big misconception that a lot of parents and children have.
Before I could fully show up in my relationships with my wife, my sons, I had to do the real inner work. There was ultimately no way around it. Therapy has been a huge part of that process for me. I learned very quickly that it's not about fixing the other person. It's not about solving anything at all, actually. For me, it's been learning to sit with the hard stuff, the fears, the pain, all the things that I was running away from, and growing from it all. That was the key to opening the door to deeper connections in my life, not just with myself, but with those around me. And that's what I really appreciate about today's sponsor, Regain, and what they have to offer. Regain is an online couples therapy platform designed to meet you where you are, whether you're working through things alone or together as a pair. You can do it by phone, video, or messaging if that's best for you. And if the therapist you choose is not a good fit, you can switch anytime, free of charge. A good therapist will help you see and understand the dynamics of your relationship, how you fit into the whole thing, and teach you the right tools for you to work on yourself, which is, I've experienced, has had the most positive impact in how I relate to others. If this speaks to you and you're tired of going around in circles, which happens in relationships, Regain can help break that cycle. Fill out a questionnaire and you'll be paired up with a therapist quickly. By signing up, you're not only helping to grow this channel, but you do get a nice 10% off of your first month. Just use the link in the description below or simply go to regain.us/BTS. Thank you once again, Regain, and let's get back to the conversation.
But just to go back to the shared interest thing, I think this really applies to all kinds of relationships. I mean, it applies to friendships.
Yeah.
I think it applies to romantic relationships
Absolutely.
too.
Otherwise, what do you do with each other, right?
Yeah.
What's the shared? But it's interesting what you say, because the expectation, and I think that's, again, I'm trying to find the keys to why we do have a great relationship with you and your brother. For me, especially for me, the less I impose any expectations or give advice or be the parental figure, right? The more, in other words, I let you be and I'm genuinely interested in what you're doing, which I am. I mean, I find you both very, just fascinating human beings who do incredible things. But I'll focus on you, okay? You do incredible things that I'm very interested in. And it's that sort of letting you be and not being on you, if that's the way to say it, that makes you more relaxed and want to be interested in the relationship, interested in me, perhaps. And I think parents just have the opposite view, that they need to impose themselves. And the more they impose, the more the child rejects the parent, right, at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And I've also had to kind of navigate the same thing in a different way, which is like I've had phases. I mean, it's still an ongoing process where there are moments where I want you to be basically a different person. I want you to be different than you are. And that comes through in how we communicate, how we speak, and the more awareness you can bring to that, I think the more you can create, because I think it's significant even just becoming aware that you feel that way before you can allow for the space for the other person to be who they are. Awareness that you are treating the other person in a way that suggests that you want them to be a different way.
Tell me more about that. That comes up still to this day? You wish your parents, either of us, or maybe more specifically with me?
Not presently. Like it kind of goes in phases. I think when we spend a lot more time together, it starts to bubble back up more. When we give each other space, it's pretty...
Well, you and I know, we're clear that we cannot spend a ton of time together. Or for me, the three of us. Or beyond that, the four of us, right? Becomes a real more complex game of chess or something.
No, I mean, you definitely still trigger me. And I think right now, probably for both of us, it's a lot less hot. I think we're on
a good path
more stable.
at the moment.
Good, bad, whatever. Triggers are not bad. I think it's just stable footing right now. But certainly there are times where I get very triggered. And obviously it's triggers about myself that I'm seeing in you, that I'm projecting onto you. And then I talk to you or treat you in a way that really says a lot about my own fears and triggers. And so that is something I've been reflecting a lot on since the podcast episode we did, rehashing the
2018 saga.
2018 saga, yeah.
I'll put a link to that below. Nathan did a video on his No Backup Plan channel where we talked about this experience of filming together for the better part of 6 months, I want to say, on and off. Very intense experience that exposed a lot about ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it because that video does a great job. But tell me a little bit, and I have questions about.
Yeah, I mean, it does a great job of because we did that 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. So that was 5 years after the fact, and honestly, every year, every couple of years, my perspective keeps evolving and changing. Yeah. So I'm now, maybe thanks to a lot of humble pie, living out here in the countryside and growing up and being a little more mature. I'm now looking at how all the ways I didn't address certain things that were coming up in me. And I had this narrative while we were going through that experience where you were really just not handling it.
So let's say a thing or two about that.
Okay.
It was a job, it was work.
We did a project together over the course of about 6 months, traveling to a bunch of countries, father, son, shooting this like docu-series, if you will. And we both had a lot of expectations around it.
For a big client, big publishing client. So it was work, paid work.
And it was just a mess.
And I just did not
just a mess.
Perform in a way that was anywhere near what you would expect of the two of us shooting together, doing production together, pre-production. It was the question I want to ask you.
Well,
you want to say something?
I just want to say that I was in this kind of optic for a long time of I saved the day. Because I did kind of save the day from a certain perspective, because you really just, I don't know what would have happened if I wasn't there, but you kind of didn't know what you were doing,
right.
No plan, no preparation, and I lived in that kind of belief for a long time.
Yeah.
And more recently, I've kind of come to see that actually I had all kinds of my own triggers going on that I wasn't addressing. I was just trying to fix the problem.
Well, you were 20.
I was 20, but whatever. Yeah.
No, young.
But also the instability you created in me, or really I felt as a reaction to the situation, is on me to deal with. It's not on you, actually. What did I save? I saved my own ass from dealing with a karmic disaster I don't want to face. So I don't... there's now so much more nuance to it. Like, I think I did the best I could in that situation, but I certainly wouldn't handle it the same way now. Because I took out a lot of my feelings of nervousness and fear on you instead of looking at what's going on inside.
Well, there was so much going on in real time during that project.
But that's what I mean by, like, a way that you trigger me and ways that I was trying to change you. I was trying to make you more solid. I was trying to make you get your shit together, because that way I don't have to deal with what's going on in me, and I'm trying to change you, basically. And I'm not saying change, I mean, kind of, but what I'm saying is don't be this way, it's a problem for me. And then you eventually with a lot of therapy, I realized I don't get to say that to people. You're going to be who you are. I mean, I can say that and then create a lot of tension and not change you still. So it doesn't work like that.
Remember, that was a particularly difficult time. It was the perfect storm for all the shit that went down, because that was a job. We had to deliver good content to a client, make them happy. And so you were in that mix of, I gotta, rise to the occasion, make this happen. While at the same time, here's your dad who's not performing the way that you imagined I would, right? So I want to hit you with something that I think you talked about it in the podcast. And it kind of hit me, and it kind of deeply, just the concept of when it's obvious that your parent is not who you thought they were. And obviously that trip fully exposed me. So talk to me about that. When you realized, fuck, okay, I'm not changing him. This is my dad. And how did you process that? How did you deal with that?
Well, obviously we both needed a lot of time and space afterwards. And that was good. That was good. We took some time
Most
and
of
space.
2019, I think.
I think
you left for Mexico.
2020 too. We weren't really talking a huge amount for,
For a while, yeah.
for like 3 years, 2.5 years.
I remember you still in the house before Mexico, and we'd cross each other in the hallway or something, and be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
Like we couldn't. It was so tender.
Yeah.
It was hard to communicate.
And I mean, I think time and space helped a lot. I think later on, seeing you do a lot of internal work on it and change, kind of just drop some of the bullshit that you were Mr. Director guy, which you clearly were not.
Yeah.
Just seeing that helped be like, okay, so he's not still fully in his delusions.
Not pretending, right?
Yeah, just at the very least, just address the fact that this didn't work out. And you did. You didn't hide away. You didn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
More recently, and this is related to what I was saying, I feel like these were impossible projections I was putting on you. So sooner or later, you were eventually, it's like the discovery that Santa Claus doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
You can let that one play out. Even, as a kid, I knew, and then I still just wanted to live in that fantasy for a while longer. And I think you guys knew I knew, but we all just played this fantasy for a while longer.
Right.
But eventually,
it comes out.
eventually, you just accept.
And it's a good reality. It's an important reality to know, to see, right? Because I was thinking that I've known you since you were a baby, right? I've known you all your life.
Well, you
I've
would hope so.
And I've seen all of you, all the forms of Nathan. And you just come into the world as a child and you see these parents, these figures that are all important. They're there to protect you and to provide. And here comes this project where dad becomes just, the reality hits you. Was that impact, were you feeling that during the trip per se as parent, dad, the parent, me as a parent, or did a lot of this unfold later? How did you process that? Because it was a big in-your-face thing for you.
In retrospect, I'm writing about this in the book. In retrospect, there were a lot of warning signs before the Spanish trip. You were always a nervous wreck before every shoot. There was always mom swooping in, helping with all the pre-production. There was always you sleeping horribly beforehand. There was, and there was also just never any kind of career takeoff here or I don't think you've ever really gone for it. But I don't know if you agree with that, but I feel that you've tried different things. You've had different experiments. But I have not ever seen you give it everything, And I don't think there's shame in that. I'm way more at peace with this now. But I think that you just didn't really have the fire for it. And I think you liked the idea way more than the reality of what it takes to do these things. And that doesn't make you a worse dad. It doesn't make you a worse human being. Because it really doesn't matter, actually.
Right.
But it certainly was something I was upset about in the midst of all of this with the trip, and because I wanted these things for myself, and I've had to, over the last decade, demystify a lot of what this means and what it means to be somebody with a name and do things and whatever. Yeah, I think this is partially why I wanted to get out of there and get away from you for a while and just you do your thing, whatever. I associated you with, these are strong words, but there was certainly after the Spanish trip, I just associated you with mediocrity. I was just and that was a triggering thing for me because I am afraid of being mediocre.
So you recognize all these things.
So I'm putting it all on you.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is all subjective. This is all just, and good work. We're talking about delivering good work to clients. That's also subjective. I had a standard. You also wanted to reach that standard, but I was upholding it far more.
Yeah, I was struggling. I couldn't keep up with the work.
But it's all subjective. It's all you have an image of what you need to do to be okay and safe.
Yeah.
And so, Yeah, I can say all of this stuff without getting emotional and upset.
It's come a long way. I mean,
It's come a long way.
7 years later, and
Yeah.
we still talk about that chapter.
Yeah, and
all
it
that
truly
taught.
it was the most beautiful experience. I think one of the most transformative experiences of your
Yes,
life.
yes.
A very transformative experience for me.
Yeah.
And I don't need you. I'm fully at peace now. I don't need you to do or be anybody. You know, like you don't need to accomplish anything. And I like it when you're engaged in stuff. And that doesn't change. I think I like it. I don't like seeing you unhappy and lost and bemoaning, your existence, which
Yeah.
you sometimes can do.
Yep.
But it's different. It's like I just want to see you happy and engaged and excited about life. But I really don't care anymore what you do or create or where that takes you. And that is probably one of the key elements to why we get along better, and that we can coexist without tension.
Right.
Right.
You're at peace with these
I think
things.
so, yeah.
So
and
then-
you can feel that from me too, right? You can feel, hopefully, way less of a critical edge from me. I don't know. I don't know how you feel.
No, I mean,
but
listen,
certainly far less than before.
my thing with you, my triggers, and I have, we're a very triggerable combination. We have triggers with each other, which makes it a great relationship to have if you work on it, right? When the other person triggers you in ways that help you explore yourself. You could say the most minimal thing, like, Dad, you keep wearing that t-shirt, which you have before, and I'll just go off. That's all on me, right? I mean, we're all opinionated in this family. We all have opinions. I think you've started to soften. I think in your late 20s now, I'm seeing you, just sort of blossom into your late 20s self. And that's great. But it's at the end of the day, it's not about you not saying things or me not being triggered.
Yeah.
So I think that our relationship will always be full of, for some reason, we have that thing with each other. Would you agree? Where we just trigger each other a lot.
No, yeah. I mean, someday we're on the path towards me realizing that to a large extent, I've already realized I just don't want to have that kind of energy around you. And it still comes out a little sometimes, but it's different than before. I mean, I feel very differently about things than before. Occasionally, there'll be a situation where I'm way more kind of aligned with Mom's attitude and perspective on things, and so I can kind of be like, "Yo, wake up!" and slap you around a little, And this is just how I approach a lot of situations, and I'm trying to bring more self-awareness to that. And you're also, I think, trying to stand up for yourself more, and also, I think it's not really personal. None of this is personal. I think we're all just having our reactions to stuff, and ultimately we all love each other and trying to help each other out, But I think the actual terms of how we communicate is always kind of being renegotiated. And yeah, there's a military general in me that'll come out and just be like,
That's okay, but you have a ton of heart. And that was true from the beginning. In 2018, I could never say you didn't have heart, And you started with love. You said love was a key ingredient. And I think if there's love, that's your basis.
It's the key ingredient.
That's your basis for so much. I wanted to say that in my relationships with you guys, I never want to change you guys. Ever want to change who you are. I never want to impose expectations. All that might come out. I think it's impossible. We're human beings. But with you as kids, with you as my son, no, I have no right to tell you how to be, to impose myself on you. And I think that freaks you out a little bit sometimes, right? When I'm not, you're saying Mom is more questiony than I am. She'll be more imposy maybe as a mom. Moms have a special role. And you're like, Dad, I wish you were participating more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes but you like it.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it gets me kind of emotional, but there's a kind of yearning for a father's love, And
you do get it, I hope.
yeah, no, I do.
Okay.
I'm just.
Oh, look at you.
Look at us, roles reversed.
I know. I'll put this in the thumbnail.
I think it's like, to me, this feels like, like in a piece of wood, a knot, like a really tender point for me. I think just the father-son relationship. And yeah, there's definitely times where, I mean, you give a lot of space, but you also make an effort. You really do make an effort, and it always hits in a very unique way. I mean, very different from mom,
Right.
which is very different kind of. But when I know you are interested and invested,
You're gonna make me cry now.
just feeling that you care is a very unique, very unique feeling that's just beyond valuable.
Yeah.
So, that was always there. That was never not there, and I never, ever, never questioned that. I mean, I could tell you were, I mean, part of me could tell throughout the whole fiasco in 2018 that I think you were shitting yourself because you were so worried about what I thought about you,
yeah.
and that was not getting burnt to the ground, and part of it was getting burnt to the ground, but really the foundation of just that kind of reaction, showing how much you cared, really meant that was never actually in question. But yeah, I feel like it definitely, it feels like a unique kind of drug, like it hits different.
Yeah.
When you care, when you show up as a dad, I think this is a universal truth of all humans. Everyone wants both of their parents to love them, right?
Of
But
course.
a lot of people have absent fathers, and everybody wants their father's love, I think. So.
Wow. Just by saying this, you answer all my questions about how you feel about our relationship, and did I do a good job in terms of maintaining a healthy relationship,
Yeah.
like we're saying. And I'm so glad to hear.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So glad to hear.
Yeah, I think maybe the big difference between now and a decade ago is maybe I had this idea, I want you to be Mr. Man, and now you're just dad, and that is plenty. That is more than that's all I could hope for, really. For you to be dad and you to be around and to make an effort, and I don't need you to be Mr. Man,
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that is.
I know.
What the fuck is
I
Mr.
don't
Man?
know. I had to show you something. I had to prove something. I don't know.
Well, just also not to mention, and I'm also writing about this, but my experience in Argentina with the lame host father I had,
Yeah.
who was Mr. Man, that sucked.
Yeah.
So, fuck that. I don't want. I'm not interested in Mr. Man, and I'm honestly trying to work out my own Mr. Man. Can I not let that be the driver of
Yeah.
so many things in my life?
But it's there. It's there. We can't ignore it. It's ego.
No,
it's
yeah.
there. It's the male figure. We can't ignore it. And we have to hopefully have awareness, work
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Do you want to share about your book? Do you want to say anything? Is that something you want to...
Early days. What, am I plugging myself right now?
Yeah, please.
Well, the book won't be around for a while. It's a process. It takes a while to write a book,
Yeah.
but it's gone great. And in the meantime, I'm sharing snippets and sharing reflections on Substack. So
Yeah,
maybe
I'll put a link to that below.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think more than my YouTube channels, just if you could put a link to my Substack, that'd be great. Because I think I'm trying to grow the readership, and I'm really excited. I'm realizing. We'll see where it goes, but right now the book is a lot of reflections about the last decade, and obviously you and mom feature prominently in elements of that.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So, well, hopefully awesome. I mean,
No, it's going to be a great.
I don't
it's
think I'll
going to
paint you
be
in
a great
bad light.
book. I am sure. I can't wait to read a draft. But take us back to the beginning as we close up here. Having said all that, what are those key ingredients to a healthy relationship? How would you sort of summarize?
Yeah, love for sure. Number one, always. I mentioned respect because I think for a while after some of these experiences, I really just didn't respect you, and I think that was something I just had to negotiate for a while, but I really just didn't want to hang out with you, didn't want to do stuff. And yeah, I just needed time to process that, you know what I mean? But the respect was won back not by like accomplishing anything really. It was really rooted in your willingness to look at yourself and do the therapy, do the reflection, make according life changes.
Yeah.
That is brave stuff. And that was what brought back a lot of respect in my view. Yeah, I don't know. I feel funny because that word respect is a charged one.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I think it's like for a while I just couldn't really hang out with you. It was just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, shared interests.
The shared interest. I think we starting with Iceland, which was an incredible trip. We then did Portugal last year.
Yeah.
I feel like these quirky, at least last year, Portugal was a little quirky, but these trips we do, maybe every couple of years, they'll have to be, I don't know, but
yeah.
But also we play FIFA on the Xbox, and we have our unique things that we do. We should probably find. We played
watch some tennis,
pool, darts, and
watch some tennis. You helped me build the sauna. That was cool.
Building stuff.
I think what's cool is sometimes I'll occasionally be like, I'm going on this trip. Do you want to come? And you're like, yeah, and you go for it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The shared interest thing is just, I think there's something about human nature where it's just not always good to go head on. Be like, son, I want to have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
I think that's what some parents do.
You shouldn't have to say that.
I just feel that that's just like so much pressure. It's so kind of in your face.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this stuff comes through osmosis. Like you just do things and bond, and it really has to be not forced. There has to be a genuine effort that's put in, but if it's forced, that comes through. So it's a delicate dance, but it doesn't. I don't know. Can I mention this?
Go for it.
I think some family members have tried in this family to connect with other family members by saying the right words and with zero of the kind of right energy, zero of the right actions taken behind those words.
Right.
And so it ends up feeling empty. It ends up feeling inauthentic. And that matters tremendously.
Yeah. Yeah. You can, the way you said it, it's funny. I want to have a relationship with you. Just have the relationship with the person. Just be yourself, do your own work. And to that point, how much is a relationship your own personal work?
Yeah.
You agree that it's the majority, or what?
Huge amount. Yeah. Huge amount. I think if you're saying I want to have a relationship, if that's all you're doing in a relationship that's maybe struggling or rocky, what you're actually saying is I don't want to have this I want to have this relationship without doing the work.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Help me. Do what is required for us to have a relationship.
Come to me so I feel good.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's what people are saying most of the time.
Yeah.
And you got to adapt too. It's like what we do, how we bond, the ways we connect are evolving, right?
Yeah.
And I see also with Sky, you guys really try to adapt to what he's into, or at each different phase.
Totally.
And that's really cool. It's so automatic from you guys that it's, I don't even call it into question, but it's truly an unusual thing. I think that like it's rare to have parents as plugged in as you guys. And I mean, I'm aware of it, obviously. I think about it and I write about it and I talk about it a lot, but I also, in this lifetime, just don't really know what it's like not to have that. I just can only observe it in other people, and I see what a difference it makes.
Yeah.
So, and what's so cool is that this, like, of course, I want to do the exact same thing if and when I have kids one day. This is obviously the best approach. It's a harder approach, but it's obviously the best approach.
Yeah.
You can't you can't convince me of otherwise. That all the, you don't. Yeah,
you don't force
you
yourself
don't shape
on your kids.
Children
Yeah.
in your image. That's not how it works.
They're not brought to this world to be shaped into what you think they should be.
Yeah,
That's completely erroneous.
And I think, I mean, it was tough for me to see some of the comments on the conversation that we had in my podcast.
That you were being harsh.
I was being harsh with you, but I was just being really honest and unedited.
Yeah.
Because
and I know how to receive that.
Yeah, you allow me to
It's not like you're being cruel and it's out of context.
You let it happen. You create that space. You're receptive to it, and that's extremely valuable in my opinion. And if people don't understand the value of that, that's on them, honestly.
Click away. Go watch something else. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we're sharing a really vulnerable conversation publicly.
Yeah.
You're welcome to have your opinions, but
and people will.
Yeah, but I'm extremely solid in how beautiful and valuable this dynamic is. So
that is so awesome, so awesome. I knew this would go so well. In the beginning, you're wondering how we're gonna meander through this, but it was beautiful.
Who knew I was
perfect
gonna break down
in its own way, but it was great. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
So appreciate it and love you so much.
Love you so much.